All right, y'all. This is Public Therapy Podcast with your host, Chris.
I'm Ray.
All right, this is part 2. We still kicking it with James and Garrick. All right, so what are some top books that you listen or that you all read? I know you gave me a couple a while back.
Word. So, one of the things that I'm into right now is How to Eat to Live, right? So that's a book that's, I believe, is from Minister Farrakhan. It might be from Elijah Muhammad, excuse me. And I know people get into the whole thing like, oh, I know he's not on that Hotep or whatever. No. You got to understand that, like, we as black people, you know what I mean? There's certain things we should be eating, I believe. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly trying to enlighten myself. I don't care if anybody laughs.
We're talking about like pork?
Yeah, like that's a no-go.
I'll just be looking at Finn's non-verbs be killing me.
We're not talking about ass.
Oh, shit.
No. So, I mean, honestly, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's the best for me as I try to, you know, I'm getting older, and I'm trying to figure out what is the best things for me to be putting into my body from a health point of view.
And
so,
wait, hold on.
Right.
Questions.
Let's go.
This was either from Elijah Muhammad, the founder.
It's from Elijah Muhammad.
Okay. Of the Nation of Islam.
That's correct.
All right. And he was a dietitian?
No.
Oh.
No, absolutely not.
Finn's an asshole.
Oh, okay.
Asshole.
I just didn't know if that was in his, I didn't know if that was in his credentials.
Listen.
Garrick, please continue.
I'm going to continue before I was really interrupted. But no, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is this, and this is something that I know to be true, is that as a black man, you know what I mean, you look at different things, they might tell you, you know, for me, I'm 5'7", right? And they'll tell you, oh, your weight should be this much, and you should be doing this and doing that. The truth of the matter is, no disrespect to nobody, is that that's based on the white male. I'm not a white male. So I'm just trying to figure out what me as a black man I should be eating. You know what I mean? Thank you, Chris. I'm just trying to figure out what I should be eating. And it's all exploration of understanding self.
What's the published date?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not even going to.
It's an older book.
It is an older book.
It's gotta be.
It is an older book. But all I'm saying is I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying, knowledge yourself, bro.
So have you started implementing that diet into your life yet?
Here and there. I have cut it short on the pork. You know what I mean? And you know that's a hard thing for a brother. Because I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to get on here and lie. I like bacon and things of that nature. You know what I mean? But I cut it out. And just anything that intakes pork. Also, you know, any type of crustacean. So, like, I'm not eating crab. I'm not eating lobster.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm not eating no crawfish, nothing like that. That's tough.
That all sounds like...
Go ahead, James. That's fine.
What?
Just saying, bro.
I mean, the things that you're talking about are... Yeah, it just sounds like Old Testament, don't eat it stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But I don't see how me not eating that is hurting me. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, like, no, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not going to hurt you to not eat it. But I don't know if it's going to help you to not eat it either.
That's fair.
It just depends on what you're doing, right? If you're eating a lean piece of pork, I don't see how that is going to be better for you than eating a lean piece of chicken.
So it's no different from me.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's
all
I'm saying.
For sure. Yeah. But it's no different from...
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not a dietitian.
Yeah, exactly. Neither am I. It's just one of the things. It's no different than someone doing a keto diet
Pork has a high amount of sodium.
Okay. Yeah, but it's no different than someone doing a keto diet or whatever, doing whatever kind of diet they want to do. That's just my choice. You know what I mean? And it's not based in any type of like knowledge or anything. I just feel like that's something that I want to try, and that's something that I'm trying right now. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I ain't got no room to talk, man. I eat terribly.
So there's that one, and then there's also I think one book that I always gravitate back to is The Way of the Superior Man. And I know when people hear the title of that book, they like,
that book.
Oh, you want some stuff, right? You the superior man.
Who's the author?
It's David something. Hold on.
I have that book. Hold on. We got it.
Yeah. There it is.
Is it David? David Didier.
God damn.
Like that. Yeah. But The Way of the Superior Man, that book is not on some like, you know, men are superior or anything like that. It basically is kind of teaching you how to, you know what I'm saying, deal with your day to day with the things that come to you as a man. You know what I mean? Being a leader, being someone that's responsible for different things. But then also too, your woman could read that book and be empowered from that book. It's not a book that's just for men. You know what I mean? But if I was to give any type of advice to a woman, I would tell a woman to get that to her man when she trying to see her man ascend to a different level. You know what I'm saying? When he trying to mature and you want to see him become the leader of your, you know, whatever y'all working on. That ain't for the faint of heart, because a man, to read that, he got to make some changes in his life. And it takes a certain level of maturity to read and digest that book. You know what I mean? So it's something that I've read, and it's something that I try to enact in my day-to-day life as I try to mature as a man. That's really what that is. You know, so it's just me trying. Both books are just me trying to be better, man. That's all it is. It ain't me trying to rule the world or tell you what you doing is wrong or not like that, man. I'm trying to be the best Garrick that I can be. So
what's that one book you was reading about the pimp?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, if we gonna go deep into that,
What's his name? Slim.
No. Iceberg Slim.
Iceberg Slim.
Iceberg Slim. One of Iceberg Slim's well-known books is a book by the name of Pimp, and it's full of life lessons. To be honest with you, many of you are familiar with the Dave Chappelle stand-up skit that's on Netflix, and he references the book. But the book just basically goes through. It's pretty much the life story of Iceberg Slim, and I believe he was born in the 20s or maybe the 30s, and he goes into his life about. He might have been born before the 20s. Don't quote me, y'all. But basically, he goes into like his life as a pimp and the things that he learned, the life lessons he learned, and the different things that he learned about women and about his friends and all that stuff. This is a man that went to prison. It's a man who, you know, pimped on a lot of women and things like that. And a lot of times people see the title of that book and they're a little, you know, taken back and they're like, oh, pimping. You know what I mean? But listen, man, believe it or not, 9 out of 10, you getting pimped in some way. You know what I mean? So you should probably just read something that's going to expand your mind. You know what I mean? If you believe just one way, then, you know what I'm saying, you just being closed-minded in a way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a man that looks at everything and tries to gain knowledge from it. You know what I'm saying? Versus judge it. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I definitely read Iceberg Slim. I've definitely read other pimp books. I've also read books that, you know what I mean, may be considered, you know, more acceptable. So that's me. You know what I mean? So yes, I definitely read Iceberg Slim, and I enjoy his writing style and his different, you know, different books.
I never got around to it. I wanted to read it though.
I got you.
I'll probably get it on my e-reader, and I'll read that. I do want to read that book.
Yeah, it's interesting. It teaches you different things, and I think that as a man, you should be well versed on anything. I like to fancy myself as a jack of all trades and a master of none. You know what I'm saying? So.
What did you?
A true Renaissance man in front of me.
Remember that crazy quote you said the other day on Zoom? Was it last weekend? It was for you. I think it was on your birthday, and you said something on the Zoom meeting. It was like a phrase. It was about I want to say it's like a rap or something. You said something crazy. Do you remember that? No one remembers it?
No. I remember
it was so funny though.
You acknowledged it, but I have no clue
that
what
shit was funny as hell. I can't think of it. It'll come to me, maybe.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I don't remember. But I was drinking.
Garrick is you're not a fool. Garrick is the person. Garrick is a man that has 1,000 phrases, and he'll say some phrase that you never even heard of, or you might have heard of and you might have forgotten about it.
100%. So all that comes into being, you know,
old.
It's just
old.
Yeah, I'm an old soul. That's real though. You know what I mean? So yeah, without incriminating myself, you know what I mean? I consider myself a person who is a man of many phrases, a man of many different tastes, you know? So yeah, any given time, if for those of you that are watching this and know me, y'all know that I'm full of one-liners, but you know, I pride myself on being a man of wisdom. I try to be wise and you know, learn from my mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, then you definitely not trying. I don't care. Like I believe that. Like
you gotta have a bag of regrets, my friend.
100%.
It's like you have a perfect balance of wisdom and humility.
You gotta be.
Yeah.
You gotta do that, Chris. You know what I mean? Like if you can't take yourself, I mean, you should take yourself serious, but you gotta bring some humor into it. I think that's where me and James definitely get along. Cause like he said, a bag of regrets. Boy, I got a duffel bag full of them joints. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that's life. And I'm not going to shy away from who I am or the things that I did. And if you want to judge me, that's your problem. Because the difference between me and probably somebody else out there is that they just uncomfortable with the things that they messed up on. I'm cool with it. Because I know that I was trying. You know what I mean? A lot of people ain't trying. They just trying to fit into something or whatever. Not me, man. I'm cool being me. You know what I mean? Go back to the first episode where we were sitting here. And I tell you, the Lord is my shepherd, but I ain't going to be no sheep. So that means I'm going to make mistakes. And I'm cool with that because I'm trying. I'm trying to live right. I'm trying to make it. So, bro, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like yeah, if you feel some kind of way, well, you just feel some kind of way because I'm still me. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, so, yeah, I got 100 quotes.
I'll hear them all the time.
Uh-huh.
You hear them all the time.
This is the watered down version.
Fade, you reading anything right now?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely reading a few different things, but I'm not ready to talk about those things because I haven't read them to completion yet.
Okay.
But Between the World and Me is probably the book I'm going to say. For this particular podcast, I truly believe that every black person should read this book by Ta-Nehisi Coates. And so, Between the World and Me, if
I got it upstairs.
If it's not a book, did I give it to you?
No, I haven't.
Was that the one you read last night?
Get him right.
No, that's not the one I was reading last night.
No, I just be giving that book out to a lot of people. So.
But no, we did. We talked about it months ago at work, and I was like, "Yeah, I have it."
It's a very easy read. It's quick. It's not a very big book, but it does really display the black experience, especially from a male perspective, because it's basically an open letter to his son. He's basically telling his son about what it means to be a black boy in the United States.
Okay.
Right. And so
this is a newer book?
2015, I think.
Yeah, 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't want to read it if it's from the perspective of like the 60s.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Ta-Nehisi Coates is like, I'll tell you what, the guy writes in a way that makes you want to go back and keep reading the last page that you just read over and over and over again. It's just beautiful. It's poetic. It's amazing. I love his writing style. It's very, it's like contemporary, but has like bits of romance in it as well, right? And so like it's just a really great read. It's easy to read. I think especially if you have a black son, you should be reading this book.
Truth be told, we are the black son.
And so
you should probably read it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just it's an amazing book, and it dives into everything from what it means to be black in the United States, also what it means to be black to other people. So like he doesn't use terms like this person is talking to a black kid or this person is talking to a black person. He uses terms like black skin, like they are reacting to my skin. They aren't reacting to me, right? Because to say it's reacting to you would be to know that
they know you personally.
Correct. They know your inner self. They know who you are. Mm-hmm. They're reacting to your skin. To walk with black skin is different than to walk with white skin. So he refers to everything as like your skin, which makes sense. Mm-hmm. It makes sense, right? Because a lot of times it's not racism, it's colorism, right? When you're dealing with a lot of things, right? I mean, I experienced that very vividly in my life because I have a lot of black friends and I look white to a lot of people and I get treated differently than they do. Yeah. And so I see it all the time. A lot of racism is not racism, it's colorism. It's a very different thing. So yeah, it's a great read. You'll pick up a lot of insights to it. Coates is one of my favorite authors. He's He's absolutely brilliant. He has a lot of other articles. He wrote for The Atlantic for a while. I don't know if he's still writing for The Atlantic, but he has a lot of great pieces on there about reparations and what that means for the black community, and a lot of great ideas. Of course, probably a lot of them aren't going to get picked up, but nonetheless, they're there and they're well thought out and very creative. And I mean, he's a great voice for America. Forget just black people. He's a great voice for America, and he's written some Black Panther comics as well.
Really?
Which are really cool.
Oh, okay. I'm on that. Like, you put me on the game, so I appreciate that. That book will be getting ordered from Amazon tonight.
Right. And if you like that book, you can go. And he actually he's written about 3. Let's see. I think he's got 4 books right now. Yeah, 4 published books, not to include the comic books. But if you do end up liking Between the World and Me, I suggest that you do go and read his other work.
I was gonna say he had one about water, something.
Yeah, it's God, I can't
think of it right now.
Struggling on the name. I did read it though. It's a fiction book. And it's fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. I suggest you do read that book, but it had The Beautiful Struggle as well. It's a really, really fantastic book. It was his first published book, but
That's a good album.
So, yeah, Talib Kweli. Yeah. Oh man, that joint had. Oof. Yeah, that's a fantastic album, man. The Beautiful Struggle is a really good. I think that was his last good one, to be honest.
Sorry to live.
Like quality. I mean, like quality is all right.
Yeah, I feel you. Nah, like
you gotta come at Talib's music.
The Water
like,
Dancer.
The Water Dancer, yes, fantastic novel.
You gotta come with his music with like maturity. You can't just throw that music on a 12-year-old or someone that was born in 2000.
Yeah, you can. You better do it.
Yeah, you can, but you can't expect much out of them.
If you put Reflection Eternal should be mandatory listening before you even listen to any other rap music.
Yeah. The high tech.
Like, yeah,
I just like him as a person, though.
Yeah,
he's so swagged out. I like the way he speaks, the way he carries himself.
I mean, he grew up like his mom like ran a bookstore. I want to say like a black bookstore in Brooklyn, and like
his story is similar to Nas. How Nas was raised. So Nas decided not to go to school.
Right.
But
he grew up reading books and like getting really.
Nas was more self-educated. He studied the 5%. You know what I'm saying? He was a 5%.
But I like Talib's story though. He's dope.
Yeah, Talib, man, that was my joint.
You mean Talib? Lyrics stick to your ribs, yeah. Yeah, that's that dude.
Nah, Talib was my man.
Yeah, for sure.
Reflection Eternal was on.
What's the name of
complete rotate?
That book?
The Water
Dancer.
Water Dancer.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's his latest book. It's a fiction book, and I'm telling you.
You know, honestly, I prefer a fiction book over I like a good nonfiction book, but I don't like reading too much of the self-help books.
You like fiction?
Yeah, I just like a good story.
Yeah,
like that book right there. I tried reading the leadership one, and I just was like,
So what'd you think of The Alchemist? That's a fiction book.
Nobody heard that, did they? That didn't creep through.
Nah.
That's all right.
What'd you say?
No, I don't have the thing on.
Oh, nah, you was like you was saying you like a good fiction book, and we was talking about the Bible earlier, and I was just like, like the Bible.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Just slid that in there.
Okay.
You like the fantastical stories.
That boy James.
Yeah,
man.
that was a good one. How the hell I missed that? Yeah.
But now y'all read that book, The Alchemist? That's fiction, right? That's considered.
The Alchemist, I haven't read it. They got a movie out on that, don't they?
I don't know, but The Alchemist is real short.
The Alchemist?
The book, The Alchemist, it's real short. It's like,
everybody I know has read it. I haven't read it.
I'll
Is it
just
pretty
slide
good?
it to you. It's pretty good. Yeah.
We got a lot of books to order.
Wait,
I mean,
what
you
is
can
this
borrow that
book? Why
one.
do I not know this book?
The Alchemist? Yeah.
Why am I sleeping or something?
It's really quick. You can read that in 2 days, brother.
From back in the fucking day. Yeah.
It was written in the 80s. It wasn't even written that long ago. Spiders.
88.
Yeah, it's
No,
Spiders.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, it's a novel.
Yeah.
I don't read a lot of fiction, guys. I don't know a lot about.
It's good. It's good.
I don't know a lot about literature. To
Okay,
be
this
perfectly
one's
honest,
good. This
like
one's good.
I read a lot of nonfiction, and so like
So that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
very, very ignorant. To
You know something
literature and
that you
fiction.
said the other day that it was a well, I don't have to say what it was, but the takeaway was you telling us you were reflecting on To Kill a Mockingbird, and that made me want to go back and read that.
Atticus Crane. Is that his name? Atticus or something like that?
Did you say Atticus Crane?
Was that his name?
Crane. What is he? What is the crane that he's referring to that he's confusing?
Oh,
Crane. What
that was the other person's name in the book, right?
What is he? What is he talking
Was
about?
that his name?
When you know
It was
what he's talking
Atticus.
about.
Atticus was
Crane.
was his name. Oh, that's the Headless Horseman.
Yeah, is that it? Is that the Headless Horseman?
Atticus, what was his name though? And then you had Scout, and we talk about To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, here we are. I mean, we're going down the Harper Lee rabbit hole here.
Boo Radley.
It's the book I read every year. You know,
Yeah,
like,
Boo Radley.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it if you want.
No.
I can probably
that's 8th grade.
page by page
Yeah,
read it to you.
Yeah, that's 8th grade. I just
Over
remember
here.
Atticus and Boo Radley and all that. Scout.
No, but what were we talking about that we referred back to?
It was in Grit, but
Kill a Mockingbird. It was in Grit?
It was in Grit, and you sat back and said, and you know that's like in the book To Kill a Mockingbird, and I was like, yep, gotta get it, gotta reread it.
Oh, I think was okay. That was a session where I was trying to convey the story of change to the group.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. How people can change and why they change and those sorts of things. Yeah. No. Yeah. To Kill a Mockingbird would be a perfect example for that. And I do remember the session you're talking about. And I think it had to relate to my mother, which is a whole different. Which is a whole different podcast.
Shout out.
We'll have to come back for that one.
Yeah, shout out to Bob.
Are they still making kids read that book?
I hope so.
Hell yeah! Come on, that was like.
I hope so.
That was
Like
like.
they are.
Yeah, well,
They have to.
There's, it's a weird one now for me. Like I have this affinity for it because it shaped. It's the reason I exist, right? But that's a whole other podcast. But the
That's deep.
I have a huge affinity for it, but Harper Lee,
Bars.
she wrote a book called The Watchmaker, and I don't know if it paints all these characters that we love so dearly in a different light later, and like it just like really, I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way a lot right now. I haven't read To Kill a Mockingbird in a little while because of it.
We're not gonna, you know what I mean. Tell me if I'm out of line, but you got kids. Have they read that book?
You're out of line.
All right, my bad.
Jesus. No.
Have they read that book?
No. Alexander and Ayla have not read that book.
Okay. Are they ready?
No.
Okay.
Not even close. It's just a different time.
It is. We read that book.
It's a different time. Like thinking about books that I want them to read. Like for instance, I'm trying to get my son to learn the classics. So I'm having him read Plato. And
he don't know nothing about that.
The Republic, essentially, is what I'm trying to get him to read, right? So
You
the
need
trial
to
of
put him
Socrates.
on that,
And
Marcus Aurelius, too. You know that's my dog. That's my dog. I like Marcus Aurelius. The Meditations. You need to let him read that one.
yeah, he's not into it.
Logical.
Like, he's just not into it. Like, I got deep into philosophy so after that incident, I mean, if we can go back to what we were talking about earlier in regards to in episode 1 about the religion things, when I discovered that people believed that God was real and that like all of those things were actually real, that's when I started going crazy into research. I needed to know why. Like, why has been the most important question to me of my life, right? I've never felt as though I'm a person who can devise a solution to a problem. I never felt that I'm that person. I'm not very good at problem solving. I don't think I am. What I do have a brain for and a knack for is absorbing information and understanding why something exists, right? So that other person could come along with the how and like have this great plan, and then I can know why that the how needs to happen, and then I can get on board with it, right? So like I can back him. But if he has a shitty how, and I know why, then I don't want to back the shitty how because I already know why. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So like I I was trying to find why, and my why led me to like reading the Bible front to back like multiple times, buying book after book about analysis about like religion, buying historical text after historical text. I read the Gnostic Gospels. I went deep into like, hey, when were these things dug up? What religion? What language were they written in? Like, why were they written in this language? Who was ruling the earth at this time? Like, what were their political interests? And
that's a
all
real
of
part
these
right there.
freaking like,
that's real.
rabbit holes I was going down, like learning, because it freaked me out. It freaked me out that people believed it. And like, you got to think, I'm the loner. I'm the outsider. I'm the ignorant one, because most of the world believes it to be real, right? It's a fallacy, an argument from population, like, it's wrong. Like, just because a vast majority of people believe something doesn't mean it's true. That's not how anything works, right? You have to demonstrate truth and knowledge, right? So like but at the same time, like, I'm this person over here that hasn't been introduced to this thing that this whole world has been introduced to. And I'm like, why? Why do people believe this thing, right? And it's a privileged ass position, right? Like, I grew up in a middle class house, a middle class family, you know what I mean? Not wanting for anything,
right.
Not
really.
Not really wanting for anything. You get what I'm saying, right? Like, I grew up in the West, in a city, not wanting for anything.
Right.
I'm in a very privileged position, not understanding desperation and hope and all these sorts of things that a lot of people around the world experience, right? And so, like, I was just trying to understand why people believed the things that they believed, and it led me down a rabbit hole of books. And I think it partly my mother, and then partly that is what kept me going into that book direction and just constantly reading.
Listen,
it's almost an obsession.
I think that's the key to knowledge, though. I think that where we're at now, we're so used to instant gratification with everything, with Google, with whatever. Everybody in this room got an iPhone.
That's why it's been hard for me to try to get my kids to read, man.
Right, exactly.
Like, because they just, like, I'll ask my son a question, and instead of him like contemplating the question, he just goes, "Hey Alexa," and then like, and then like, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden he just asks the question. I'm like, why don't you think about it for a second? Like, use your brain first.
Do you see a little bit of yourself in your kids?
Oh yeah.
Is it like, I guess it's a newer version of yourself as far as the way you go and get your information, obviously, because whenever, even me and Raven, we're younger than y'all, but we still have to go when we have to do research projects. We used to have to go to the library and
we have to encyclopedia, get like a paragraph of information, and extrapolate like 3 pages worth of information based on that little paragraph.
I guess what I'm asking, like, so is your kid, do you see yourself in your kid as far as like the interest that you have? Like, does your kid, when he attaches onto something, does he dive deep like you? Because you dive deep into stuff.
It's too many options, right? Yeah. He and his sister, like, they have too many options. Like, when they get interested in something, their interest wanes quickly because there's other stuff just flying from every direction at them, right? When I got interested in religion, there wasn't everything flying at me from every single direction to dissuade me from going down that path.
That's real.
That's true.
So like, I just went down that rabbit hole path. Like, religion led me to philosophy. It's a very weird thing because it's a backwards evolution, right? Because philosophy led to religion. And so like there's like a weird, it's a strange backwards path to philosophy. But then I fell in love with philosophy. Man, absolutely fell in love with philosophy.
You actually made me
like Kant, Voltaire, and Nietzsche. Like, those are my dudes. And so like I fell in love with that. And it's funny because religion brought me to it. Not religion in the sense of like me believing it, but the discovery of it.
Your curiosity.
And the research of it brought me back to philosophy. I don't know. It's interesting.
100%. I like how you said that, though, because I'm looking at my own, like, whatever the things I was into. I mean, most of y'all been around me enough to know, like, I'm a fanatic for sports, and I like the history of sports, right? But then my thirst for knowledge of the history of sports took me down my thirst for knowledge for the history of the world. Like, it's like, well, what was going on during this time? Like, why did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar feel this way? Or like, why did Jim Brown quit playing football at 9 years when he was still dope, right? But then you look and see what's going on in the 60s, right? Like, a lot of stuff going on. So then that alluded and led me to my thirst for knowledge for history. So yeah, that's
Why are you looking like that?
he hates sports. James hates.
Well, no, I do that. That wasn't what I was looking at.
He looking for some drink.
I was looking at that. I was looking at my empty wine glass. That's all that.
Got you.
The bottle's empty.
The bottle's empty.
There's another bottle in the
Go get it
in the
real quick.
kitchen.
Oh, I guess that light's in the way.
Yeah.
You
Sorry. But yeah, go back to what you were saying. So with the whole Last Dance, so you watched The Last Dance.
100%.
Yeah. So what you think about that documentary? And I know James, you a little out of tune, but
No. Me and James do share an epiphany. Yeah,
I lived through it. I could talk about
Epiphany,
it without
wrong word.
watching it because I lived through it.
Yeah. Me and James
That's
do
true.
share something that we do solely like. We both like hoop.
Yeah.
oh
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So,
That's
but
right.
I'll say this about The Last Dance, right? And I always think about, it was a Dave Chappelle skit, and he was talking about, you remember the movie Antoine Fisher? Written by Antoine Fisher?
Yeah.
Right. That's how I feel about The Last Dance.
Starring
Like,
Denzel Washington.
yeah.
That movie was written by Antoine Fisher. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Right. But The Last
Great
Dance
movie.
was, right, it was. But The Last Dance was also like, Jordan had a lot of say in that, right? So sometimes it's easy to make yourself look like the hero. I mean, there was times he looked like the villain.
Oh, there's been some articles that have come out where people are like, yo.
That's bullshit, right?
Yeah. Even Pippen. Even Pippen was like, yo.
That ain't how that went down.
Yeah,
right?
but you're looking at it through the lens of like this ultra type A mega star,
Right.
Michael Jordan. Like, it doesn't get any more
So-
high than that, right? Like, the stardom doesn't reach any other level than Michael Jordan. Like, that's
only person in this world in my life that can relate to Michael Jordan is Michael Jackson.
that. Yeah, that's right. You're right on
That's
that.
it. And
You're right on that.
Michael lost his mom. I mean,
Yeah. And
Rightfully
I would
so.
probably
Right.
say that Michael Jackson's probably more popular worldwide than Michael Jordan.
100%,
Oh, yeah.
100%, no question, no question.
But you couldn't ever derive any sense of what that means to him from him because he's Michael Jackson. What interview have you learned anything about Michael Jackson
Not
from
at all.
any
You ain't learned
Michael
shit.
Jackson interview,
Nah.
right? Yeah, but
But I said it to say this, right? So one of the big things that come up from this Last Dance, first of all, The Last Dance was amazing, and I'm grateful for it. It really got me through, like, when we was going through that time where the world was changing.
did it bring you back to like your childhood when you watched it?
Bro, I was in Chicago when the Bulls won their 4th championship. When the Bulls beat the Sonics, I was there.
During that was Gary Payton,
So quick fun fact, I'm a Sonics fan. That's who
Are
I
you
cheer
really?
for. Yes. I'm a
What?
Sonics fan.
Wait,
Gary
from
Payton-
back in the day,
yes,
Sonics
Gary-
fan?
excuse me, not
Like
Gary
Kemp?
Kemp is
Payton?
quick story. 1993, I think it was. I think it is the 2nd issue of Slam magazine. It has Sean Kemp on the cover doing a dunk. I was in.
Is it the one where his legs are spread?
No, not that one. But he's doing like a windmill.
Oh, okay.
I asked my grandma. Appreciate you,
That's
grandma.
why.
Your shit is just.
Oh, okay.
That's not your
Just
fault.
get it, yeah, just
It's all good. But look, I was in the line at Kroger's trying to
I hate fans so much.
Yeah. You know how you make those point of sale purchases? And right in front of us was a magazine with Sean Kemp on the cover, Slam magazine. And I asked my grandma to buy it for me. Well, Slam magazine cost $5 in 1993. $5 in 1993 is a half tank of gas. Yo.
That's expensive.
yo, for real. It is. Well, in the Midwest it was.
Yeah, 100%. So
Yeah.
Grams bought it for me, man. And I read that front to back, of course. And yeah, Sean Kemp is my dude. I actually own a throwback Sean Kemp jersey,
Poor Sean
everything.
Kemp.
Right, but I'm a Sonics fan. I say that to say this. I grew up in the 90s. I know who Michael Jordan is. He's the greatest, right? But I'm a LeBron fan. We'll leave that for another day. Yeah. But yeah, so I was there though. 1996, me, moms, and my brother Dave, we went to Chicago. We were there in June.
Oh, wait. So you traveled to Chicago from Ohio to watch
we
that
were
game?
No, we were on vacation, and we happened to be on vacation in
And where did you watch it?
Chicago. I watched it in the room, bro.
In the hotel room?
Yeah, I wasn't there. Come on, dog.
No, I didn't mean like this. I was just wondering if you was
Right.
out and about, like
Right.
trying to get your mom, like,
The
yo,
next
we gotta
thing-
watch the game.
Yeah,
Why are we
yeah,
out here
no,
looking
no,
at
no, hell no.
Chicago stuff? Like when the
Mom's ain't
game is.
listening. Mom's not listening to none of that.
Yeah.
But the next day, Grant Park, yeah, we tried to get down there and all that, but it was crazy. We couldn't get down there. Mom's wasn't having it. It was like no exaggeration. It was 1 million people. I definitely got a T-shirt that said like, 4-time champions, whatever, blah blah blah. I definitely got all the stuff, all the paraphernalia. But yeah, I was there, so like I lived that. So watching The Last Dance was like just replaying our childhood.
Yeah, it's a nostalgic trip down memory lane. That's why I
100%.
haven't been quick to watch it, because it's kind of like I already know it. Like all the even from the little trailer,
It's our real life.
all the trailer was just like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. Like I already know the story about that. Like, oh yeah, okay.
Like people nowadays don't really understand how big MJ was. Like having J's was not just something that you just went and did. Like,
Never owned a pair.
But for real though, it was really like when we was in school, like a handful of cats had J's. Like it wasn't 20 people that had J's. It was like 4.
No,
Yeah.
mom and pop would
Never.
never let me buy them.
Never.
Like they was like 150, 160.
Whatever it was,
And that's
it
like
was a no.
90s money.
Yeah.
Like 90s money, bro. Like 100
An $80 pair of shoes is
Yeah.
you asking a lot.
Yeah. No, I did have the pennies though.
Oh yeah,
The black ones.
the black ones, and
Had
they
the-
had the black and blue ones.
There's some ugly shoes, dog.
Looking back,
yeah.
Those
them
shoes
big
are
ass bubbles.
yeah. I thought I was hot though.
100%.
Honestly, I would wear them.
I wore size 13 when I got them joints.
Those
and they
are ugly,
came out.
man. That
And like-
shoe in a size 13, that's an ugly ass shoe.
But nah, The Last Dance was amazing.
Because I shouldn't tell you I
100%.
wear size 14 now.
You're right, thug life, baby. You gotta let them know.
Get out.
Yeah.
You were
All
size
my
14?
shoes are ugly.
Right.
No, but I'm talking about the penny shoe.
Yeah, that big
That's-
bubbly
yeah, that
13. Yeah.
it's out there.
Yeah, no, you're right. That probably the only reason my shoes never got stolen.
Right. The Last Dance was the Last
because
Dance
I had
was
big ass
great.
feet.
But to bring it back to the original point with the Antoine Fisher thing, is like Michael Jordan had a big part in that. So it's real easy to be like, yeah, I was great. Them other guys, they was doing some BS, but not me. You know what I'm saying? I gambled a little bit. I played some golf.
Yeah.
But
Man.
I heard there was a lot of cutting, a lot of editing for
Yeah.
that, to make him seem like
Was he a producer on it?
I don't know.
Probably I would, even if he wasn't, it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
You
he's not
don't-
going. He's not going to lend his voice and his like his image to something that he doesn't have creative control over. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he's probably cutting his contract. Like, hey, I get final say when this comes out as to like what
was
you
the-
put in and what you keep out. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
he was the
Like,
main person to push it out. He wants to push it out
right.
this year, and this is 23 years, 23. That's his
Right.
number,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Obviously, he had a lot.
That's
to
his
do.
number.
I hate this motherfucker.
23.
Yeah.
Is that the?
You know that.
That's the
Yeah.
number he wore.
What's the other number he wore?
I think it's like a 5 and a 4, or a 4 and a 5, or oh boy,
Gee willikers.
oh no,
So going back,
oh no.
going back to 45. I didn't know he only. I didn't know. I felt like he wore that number way longer than
Nah,
he
it
did.
was like 20 games, bro.
Yeah,
I don't even think it was that
Well, no,
many.
but the reason why you think he wore it longer is because he wore it, so it became Jordan's number 2.
Yeah.
So like
that was whack.
Like,
bro.
but
That shit
no,
was
but for
whack.
real, that's why you think he wore it longer, because you associate the number 45 and the number 23 with
It
Michael
seemed
Jordan.
like he wore that number so long.
If he would have wore it for 2 games, people would have. 45 would still be. That's how much of a star he is. You know what I mean? Like, that's how big he is, that he could just wear a number for 20 some odd games and still come out of it with like, oh, 45 is Jordan's number.
I'll say that to say this, man. Listen, man. Them Jordan shoes, man. Them was the best shoes ever.
Well, he had so many different ones though. Like, you know
yeah,
what I'm
which
saying?
one? Like, what's your Jordan? What's your go-to?
My go-to Jordan is the one.
The
I
ones?
love the one. I love the one. It's a beautiful shoe. I like the ones. I like the Grape 5, the Grape Jordan 5. Yep. You in my lane right
This will be
now.
a
Yeah.
whole nother
The
podcast.
Grape 5 is my favorite shoe of all time. The Grape 5 is my favorite shoe of all time.
The 5s?
Yeah, the Grape 5. That particular
grape
5.
ones.
Yeah, the Grape. And then obviously everybody likes the 11. I do like the
That's-
Concord 11, but it's so played out at this point.
I think that's
Which is the 11 that like white one?
the 11 is the one
Concord.
with the patent leather on it.
Oh
The
yeah,
white-
everyone loved that. I remember that in junior high. Like
That's a hype beast shoe though.
that was like 1995, 96?
96.
96. Yeah,
That was 6th or 7th grade for us.
no, that was like junior high.
Yeah, so 6th or 7th
So that's-
grade. Bro.
Yeah. You're right.
I was gonna say that's
I-
like
we
Same age, bro.
We didn't have that middle school though.
Yeah.
I had elementary to 6 and then junior high.
Oh
7,
my
8.
bad, Ohio
Yeah,
middle
yeah.
school starts 6th grade.
Yeah.
But all right, so like this.
What were you guys
I like
doing
the
then?
11.
You
Don't
guys
worry about
playing
it.
with your toys.
Don't worry
So
about
the 11 is hard. I like the Concord, but I do like the 12 more than I like the 11. I like the Jordan 12.
Which one was the 12?
The
You
taxi.
can't just come out like
The
that. Like, I
taxi.
don't know
It's
it like
called
that.
the taxi. It's
Which
black and
one
white.
were the cool grays?
The cool grades
they
are
got
11.
so well, yeah, they had so many.
But she
different
talking
cool
about
grades.
the 11s.
Those are the only ones.
Yo, hold on.
I wish I had.
Look, now you don't-
I only own the 14s, and the cool grays were the
Okay.
other ones. I was like, damn, I want them cool grays.
Yeah, them cool grades.
How many did you
Own originally or as an adult?
Well, no. Hold on. As a child,
Zero.
how many were you able to acquire?
Zero.
How many were you able to acquire?
Zero.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
weren't
get
able to get some-
I didn't
okay.
get a pair of Jordans until I was 16 years old. I got the 15s, the Jordan 15s.
And how'd you get 'em?
them? Red. A hookup. So
No, I'm just saying that because I remember when I was 16, my boy, I wanted some Timbs, and mom and dad weren't buying me no Timbs. Timbs were like 200.
On the West
Like-
Coast, you was wearing Timbs.
Yeah, we wore Timbs out on the West.
I know that.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't enough. Wu-Tang.
No, I wanted
I
some,
thought that was just strictly East Coast thing.
no, it was a West Coast thing too. I wanted some Timbs. Timbs were like 200.
Yeah,
Like
Timbs
in the
are cost a lot.
90s.
Yeah.
Timbs were
cost a
200.
lot.
Like, mom and dad were not having that, and like my boy hooked me up. You know, I got a hookup
Right.
with some Timbs. I didn't ask no questions, but you know, I got the hookup on some Timbs,
So mine went like that.
and I came home with them Timbs, and Pop was like, "What are those?" Oh no, these are just like
Regular boots.
like just boots. And he was like, "Oh, those Timberlands."
Oh, baby.
Where'd you get them? My friend didn't want them anymore.
Ironically.
Yeah, but I wore them Timbs for like 2.5 years, bro.
Oh, them
like,
boys was
yeah,
beat. Yeah.
I was so I knew. I think Pop knew.
Yeah.
Pop knew.
He knew.
Yeah.
He let me have it.
He
though.
let it ride though. Right?
Yeah, he did. He
So
did.
I got my 15s, the low top Jordan 15s. They was white and red. My sister actually hooked it up for me. I guess she knew the manager at Foot Locker. I gave her an undisclosed amount of money. I gave that to her. She came back with the product. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
So
bro, that's better than mine. I don't even know if mine came off someone's feet. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even ask no questions.
Yours
I don't know where they came
yours
from.
may or may not have a
Yeah,
scuff on them
them
already.
motherfuckers may come off some white boy crying home. Hey, Johnny, where are your Timberlands that I bought for
Timberlands.
and that's facts though. But yeah, definitely started a love affair. So yeah, like 99, I copped those, and then it just went out of hand after that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely had every Jordan that I've ever dreamed of having at this point.
are you the type of shoe collector that keeps all the boxes?
Yeah, within reason. Some of the boxes just ain't make it due to my lifestyle, me moving, every couple of years and everything like that. The boxes ain't gonna make it. But yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Jordan in the sense of his shoes. I love his shoes. I think his shoes are the flyest. But as being a fan of Jordan, like coming up, I know my friends are gonna murder me for this, but I know that Jordan is the greatest. But that wasn't my favorite player. I like Penny Hardaway. I like Iverson.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Iverson.
That was her favorite player. Iverson.
Yeah, that's my dude. But that's not to say that they're better than Jordan. I just like them better. You know
I always thought AI, like his handles were so hot, but I always thought he was gonna get caught up with his
Outside.
shorts. Nah.
Oh, no.
I always felt like the ball was gonna get stuck in between his legs.
Yeah.
You know, because his shorts were like, bruh, them shorts, I get it. Baggy shorts, bruh.
he had like a 5X.
Yeah, his shorts went to his ankles,
Yeah.
dog. Like, yo,
Yeah.
I was like, what are you wearing,
He had
AI?
them Ronnie Freeman on. Yeah, he had them Ronnie Freeman on.
It's like Jinko shorts, bro. Like,
He was His changeup was really extreme too. Because remember he came in with the high fade, and he had the regular size uniform and shit, and all of a sudden
one tattoo.
Yeah,
and then he had
that's his money right there though. That's his money.
Yeah.
But I think he changed the game though, because before that, like the way that people handled the ball was different.
100%.
He pretty much basically told the NBA, look, we can carry a little now. Like the ball's gonna come up a little bit higher up on the palm of my hand, and y'all ain't gonna say shit. And like that changed the evolution of ball handling. AI changed that, and like people come up from behind. Like you see all these sick handles now. That didn't happen without AI.
Absolutely not.
Like he changed those rules. I don't think it was like a spoken thing, but it was certainly unspoken. Like, are you going to? Is the NBA going to stop this star player, this amazing athlete, from doing the things that he's known to do because of this slight bending of the rules, right? No, they didn't do it because that's stupid. Right. Why do you do that? You stop this amazing athlete from bringing in money to the NBA, right? So that slowly evolved into like what you see today, like
the bullshit we see today.
Well, yeah, but I like it though. I like it because it's dope. It's sick. Like you see it a lot in the way that people handle the ball now.
So I'll say that to say this real quick. I like how we went from like religion to us just being regular dudes, right? Because
part two.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Is that all of us, we all have different views, right? So we all feel a certain way about religion. We feel a certain way about hoop. We feel a certain way about movies, whatever. But we regular people, right? So like me and James is two regular people with just different views. You know what I mean? So I think that it's cool that, you know what I'm saying, you brought it back to talk about our childhood. That like, yeah, we grew up hooping. We grew up wishing we had some J's and all that stuff. We regular dudes, right? But just like y'all regular people, for me, and maybe I think Chris can relate. Like, man, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, I was at church, bro. Believe that I was at church.
I was at home reading Star Wars books.
James was living but that's what I'm saying. Like we are the common men. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing, right? And I think that's a takeaway that we can have just as people is that if you think about it, every person that I've ever spoken to about religion, I've spoken to a lot of people about it. In fact, most of my closest friends are religious people. And once you take that away, once you remove religion, once you remove supernatural, once you remove God, all of a sudden, everything else just falls into place. The only thing that butts up against your differences tends to be religion. And so, like, once you shed that, once you just kind of wall that off into its own little corner, you tend to come to some agreement on a lot of different things, and you tend to get along, and you tend to believe almost the same things, and we tend to understand each other in ways that we wouldn't understand each other if we kept that religion piece into the conversation. You know what I mean? Like it really is, to me, this is, again, my perspective. Religion is a barrier for everyone coming together and becoming a cohesive people around the world. It's a barrier to me. So, like, again, like we shed it, right? We shed it for this second half of this conversation. And all of a sudden, me and Coleman, same page, going through it, amening each other, pun intended. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like so. That's my dog. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So like,
for real, we had a similar experience.
Yeah, it really is. Once you shed that piece, man, people come together fast. People come together fast because our experiences aren't that different. We're all humans. We're all born and raised on this earth, experiencing very similar things.
Especially being American. Like I've lived in several different parts of America, and like the strip is the same: Target, Walmart, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. Oh, boom, there's the mall. Like, it's all the same. I don't care if you're from the north, south, east, west, whatever. It's all the same. Then when we start talking about the shoes, the TV shows we watch, so on and so forth.
The pop culture, the references, the music. I mean, like, all the things. And all of a sudden you go, well, I believe in this God and I believe in that God. And then all of a sudden there's a conflict, right? But before that, it was whatever. Like, oh, you like X, musician. I like Y musician.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We cool. But, oh, I like this guy and you like that. Oh, now we got beef. It's like, why? Can we just? I don't know. In my perspective, it's just like, can we just knock that shit off and then we can be all right? Like we can be all right. But I mean,
I heard that differently.
That's just me.
Right. But no, that's still cool though. Like, and I think that's the beauty of what we do is that, you know what I'm saying, I have two native Texans to my right, and then I have a man from the Republic of California.
The Republic of California.
And then I'm from Ohio. I'm actually from the capital of Ohio. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. So like man, that's 3 different regions, 3 different whatever, but we have some similarities that are similar, whether it be me and Chris sharing our background in the church, whether it be me and Raven both winning those cool grade 11s, or me and James just talking about our recollection of the dynasty that was the Chicago Bulls. Like, man, and I think that's the thing that we all need to come back to. The religion sometimes divides us, but man, we still are human beings. We still have a lot of similarities, right? And we got to find a way to talk about our differences in a respectful way, right? Because a lot of times people are like, I'm just going to say, you're fucking wrong, right?
No, you're right. I tread that line. Look, I was way worse. I can think of times in my life, especially in my 20s, where I was just an asshole, asshole. Right? And I don't think I'm that much better now. I definitely do disparage religion. I 100% do. I know that to be true. I try very hard though to be more constructive than I have been in the past and ask more questions, right? I've kind of adopted the Socratic method of just asking questions. That's what Socrates did, right? Socrates just asked questions to prove his point, right?
Hey, James
and
like that Socrates, y'all.
I love Socrates. Socrates is my dude, man. That's my dude. Plato outlined him extraordinarily well. Socrates never wrote anything down. Like he didn't believe it, right? There's actually like competing arguments about whether or not Socrates was a real person or just an invention of Plato. But I tend to fall into the camp where he was actually a real person and Plato was his student. But he didn't
bars.
he didn't write anything down. But Plato is the one who kind of is his was a student essentially, and wrote the things down that Socrates said and I believe in that method. Socrates would just walk around and ask people questions. He was like a nuisance. Right. Like he would just walk around and like ask people questions. And he stunk. He never took a bath. Like he was always just like talking about like philosophy and like
your ass
asking
kind of
questions.
Too, man. I was gonna say that.
Funky ass boy.
Oh man. But no, just asking people questions I think is a really good way of kind of getting people to think about what they believe and why they believe it, rather than you telling them why they're wrong, right? I'd rather just ask you a question that makes you ponder why you think the way that you think, because that's what helps me. Like anytime. I love it when people ask me questions and then I don't know the answer and I have to think about it. That excites me, right? And so I try to deliver that to people when I talk about religion instead of being combative. I used to be really combative, and I don't like to do that.
Well, for a lot of us, with age comes maturity. You know what I'm saying? So you you mature to a level where you can quench your thirst to for that. You have a desire to debate.
For sure.
You're right. So you can quench your thirst without being, that extra.
Right. No, it's interesting to say that because the relationship I have with my mom was very special, and she and I would debate about a lot of things, but yet we agree on almost everything. Yeah, there's like these little nuances that we had that we didn't agree on, and we would debate about them for hours and hours and hours. And if someone that I agree with like 99.9% of the time, I can have these like hour-long debates with. Like obviously people that I don't agree with, I can have like very, very in-depth, long discussions full of questions. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That just go on and on and on. And when I find someone who's willing to do it, it excites me.
100%.
But you and your mom basically the same person now?
Of course, I like that.
You know what
I tend to not get along with people like me.
So I am definitely cut from the same cloth as my mother. I hope I'm not the same person as my mom, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
I know what you're saying, because that means that you and your mom are probably exactly alike. Because I bump heads with people that's exactly like me. I would hate to be. Well, I am a twin, but I would hate for my twin to be exactly like me, because we bump heads all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a mama's boy, man. Like, here's me and my mom.
Facts.
Mom. That was my life growing up. Like, she's one I went to for everything. So,
But that might be why you probably just don't see it, or you don't want to see it.
No, I do, Chris. I mean, like, what I'm trying to say in this without going too deep, because I'm telling you, if you want to have me over for a familial discussion podcast, I'd be more than happy to air out some of the dirty laundry that exists in my family and the way that
please don't do it.
In the way that it has shaped me. I actually probably be therapeutic for me, to be honest. But I am very much like my mother, but I hope that I'm not exactly like my mother. Does that make sense?
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Listen.
I love how you did that John Ralphio from Parks and Rec impression there with
No, that was Drizzy Drake.
Oh, was that Drizzy? Oh,
What did you say?
my bad.
I said, don't do it.
Once again,
Don't do it.
yeah.
All right.
Drake probably stole that.
Yeah, I know.
He be stealing people's shit.
All right.
Yeah.
But man, I can't think of nobody that's like me. My mama tell you straight up.
You like your pop?
Somewhat, but I'm like a mixture of both of them. But I like to refer to a Nipsey Hussle song. It's number 12 on the tape, Mailbox Money. I'm not gonna say the name of that song, but I don't know nobody like me. I'm gonna just paraphrase. I don't know nobody like me.
I got you.
But yeah, so number 12 on Mailbox Money. That song, yeah, that's the story of my life. I'm 101, bro. I'm not like my mom. I'm not like my dad. And I'm blessed for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know too many people like you. I don't know too many people like either of y'all, to be honest. So.
But that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
It's a lonely one thing is what it is.
Nah,
Is it though?
I love it, right? Because
I
I like to fancy myself as a person that's unforgettable. Like, if you be like, oh, you know, Garrick, like, there's only one.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. Like
Yeah.
there's gonna be definitely moments if he's a Garrick. Oh yes, you mean Coley Cole?
Yeah.
Yes, I do know Coley Cole.
Yeah.
Man, and I'm blessed for that, man. You know what I mean? I'm blessed for that. I consider that a blessing. You know what I mean?
Are you sure it's a blessing, or is it lonely and annoying all at the same time?
So you have to understand that I already accepted the fact that I am annoying. You know what I mean? I laugh.
No, not you being annoying. You
being me.
No. So I struggle with this. I'm memorable too. People always seem to remember me, right?
Right.
I don't always remember everyone else. And I don't always want to remember everyone else.
So think
right?
But think about my personality, right? I'm very inclusive. I'm a very inclusive person, right? So boom, what do I do on a day-to-day basis? And y'all can attest to this. When I come in, boom, I bust in the door every morning, right?
Yep.
Boom, and I speak to you. What's up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you make your rounds. I make my rounds too. But that don't mean, Cole, that don't mean when I leave, I don't always want to make rounds with everyone that I used to make rounds with.
That's true.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. But
There's few people that I do.
Yeah.
But man, that shit
inclusive.
gets old.
Yeah, I'm inclusive.
Man, like I could sit on my phone and text people all day if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I do. And I'm going to tell you why I want to do that. Because to me, I feel like everybody is, you know what I'm saying, has their place in the world. And if I can relate to Chris on something, and then I can relate to Ray, and then I can relate to James, like bam, I just enlighten myself. Every day I enlighten myself, right? Boom. So bam, I heard your point of view, I heard your point of view, I heard your point of view. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm putting that in the memory bank, and now I'm ready. Because
until what about when old boy texts you next, and then you gotta respond to him, and then you gotta talk to him.
I'm
and
ready,
then,
bro. That's how my brain. That's how my brain works.
I'm not ready.
You know what I'm saying? That's how my brain works. So
Not ready.
Like I'm a man of the people. You know what I mean? So to me, everyone does have a small piece of my brain. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I think?
Right.
I think we should come back and do another podcast, me and Cole. On.
Are we gonna get deeper?
Yeah, we should do another one.
Yeah.
We should do a part 3 and a part 4.
Deeper.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just gonna add on 2 more.
Well, let's see how we're received by the public, because that first one was real controversial.
I hope I get so much hate. I just
you don't know if they're gonna make it to part 2, huh?
I wanted the hate to come in, because the hate, that'll bring more people in. Yeah, I don't even know. The hate will bring it in.
You can start your own podcast, man.
I can't. I want the hate to come.
I just want everybody to know that, like, it's okay to think what you think, right? So me and James, we obviously have our contrasting point of views, but like, there's nothing wrong with that. And you got to know that it's okay for you to feel how you want to feel.
The internet will find something wrong with it.
But see, that's the problem with it. Like, it's not
Especially
okay to be. It's not okay to be an individual anymore, right? It's not okay, and I have a problem with that. Like, it's okay for us to disagree. Man, that's still my brother. Right across the table, that's my brother, and we disagree a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. Like, the world wouldn't be what it's developed to right now if we was all like, yeah, you know, the way Tesla did that was hard. You know, we should go that way. Like, nah, they went with Edison, right? Like, you know what I mean, or whatever it was. Like, people disagreed.
Yeah,
that's so annoying too. Like, have you ever had like a friend that always agreed with everything that you said?
That's annoying as hell.
It's very annoying. Like, why are you hanging? Not that it's cool to hang out with somebody that's on the same terms and same playing field as you and shit, but I want to learn too. You're not gonna learn for someone that thinks the same way as you.
Chris.
Like,
this is my real life philosophy, real quick.
Go ahead.
Every relationship is like the infinity symbol. Look, and I don't care. Me and James are the same age. Y'all a little younger than us. Hey man, if you look at the infinity symbol, it's one feeding into the other. It's one feeding into the other, just like that. I need you to inspire me.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's part of friendship.
Right.
So, like, if you thinking the same thing, like, bro, I'm not learning nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you come from a different background. Ray, you come from a different background. James, you come from a different background. Hey, I need you to inspire me, man. Keep that shit going.
Well, yeah, so it's about embracing your ignorance, right? So it's okay to be ignorant. We're all ignorant.
Like, that's even with that question that you asked in part 1, I forgot what the question was, but that question that we couldn't answer about the whole if we were, you know, now that's in the back of my mind. I'm like, shit. Next time you ask that question, I want to have an answer for that question.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying.
Yeah. That's burden shit.
But I've never, that's a deep ass question.
Part 3.
Part 3 is coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you sitting around, if you don't want to hang around people that have different thinking and mindsets as you, then what are you doing?
Right.
You're not growing. Unless you just cool with being stagnant.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, embracing your ignorance and allowing yourself to be wrong is something that we have trouble with.
But I don't think that society is teaching that. Society's not teaching people that it's okay to be wrong.
Of course
sometime.
not. Of course not, because we exist in echo chambers these days. We always just, you know, our bubble is very small. We're the most global we've ever been as a society, yet we're the most isolated we've also ever been too, because you don't have to commune with people anymore.
That's true.
You go to work, you shut the fuck up, you go home, and then you get on your feed that's with everybody that's the same as you.
Yeah.
And then you don't even at all commune with anybody who has dissenting views,
shit, James.
right? So
talk your shit, James.
I'm just saying. I mean, like, it's what it is. You never challenged in any meaningful way, and so I try to stay away from all of that, right? I try to challenge people and get people to challenge me. That's why I'm so divisive when I like speak about things in my workplace and stuff. I know you're not supposed to do that in the workplace, but I mean it's why I'm the way I am, right? I try to get people to be like themselves, like, because I know when they go home, they're not gonna there's not gonna be a me or somebody else or a somebody else to challenge them. They're never gonna get challenged anywhere but work, because when they go home, they're just gonna go right back into their echo chamber, into their bubble, because that's what social media allows you to do. It allows you to eliminate everything that's dissenting,
pick and choose what you
and
want
then bring in everything that you agree with, and then you're just comfortable. You just sit there in it.
So I totally disagree with that. I come from a train of thought that, like, man, I'm watching everything that I disagree with.
No, so you disagree with the doing that, but you don't disagree with do you disagree with the actuality of that's what's happening?
Oh, no. Definitely that's what's happening.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, but I take a different approach where I'm constantly watching the things that I give zero.
Yeah, absolutely. I do that as well. Like, I don't ever log into the news agency that is going to spin the article in the direction that I would probably agree with. I always log into the news article, the news agency that's going to do it. Yeah.
Who they are.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's, I always do. I want to see what angle they're coming at. I can get the facts from both and make up my own mind, but I'm not going to get the spin of the other side unless I go to that side and look at it.
Word.
So they're both going to report the same facts. They're just going to spin it differently. And I can pick out the facts and make my own mind, and I do that. But I want to hear what the spin is.
All right. Okay.
But most people don't want to do that. That's uncomfortable, right? That's not a comforting thing, like to do that. So
I can imagine.
Yeah, no, but that's a whole nother thing. Christopher.
Sven, why don't you start your own podcast, man?
Oh no, I'm not built for this.
I know, Colt. I mean, Garrick, you think about starting yours?
It's coming, y'all.
Do you know how restrained I've been during this and how stressful that is for me?
I can't tell.
In due time.
It's incredibly restrained. I'm being like,
in due time.
Oh, I'm pent up right now. As soon as this thing goes off, I'm gonna have to curse like at least 50 times.
Well, I'm gonna tell you straight up,
to get it out.
Chris and Ray, thank you very much for allowing me and James to do this, and definitely, like, this is going down. Like, when I start mine, like, y'all definitely coming on.
Inspired Garrick.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, he talked about it before.
Yeah.
Oh no, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I just get in trouble, guys. Come on, let's be real. As soon as I get comfortable,
it
would just be trouble.
He has to have like a Patreon.
Trouble.
You gotta have like a Patreon.
Correct. I'd have to have my own echo chamber giving me money to spout all the bullshit that they want to hear, right?
You know what the fuck I'm talking about. So.
The fact that he already knew. Like.
All right, y'all. So, shit, this is...
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm going to come back, though, if you guys will have me.
Sure.
Do some more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Even if it's... I know you live all the way down in London, so...
Are you going to go ahead and give out my address, too, there, Chris?
It's London.
He doesn't live in London.
He just likes...
Inside joke, y'all.
He does not live in London, so don't worry. No one will have your address based off London.
No. Good old James traveled, what's a whole full 75 miles out to visit us today?
To this countryside villa that you guys are occupying here with all of your...
It's so peaceful out here, though, right?
I do love it out
You don't hear no cars passing.
It's nice out here.
It's nice
you
out
got
here
no public transport anywhere.
You can walk to the bus station.
Where does it take you?
Bus stop.
Where does it take you?
It takes you to Kettering.
God, Kettering. Amazing. What's
And then from Kettering you can go to Cambridge.
Man,
and then from Cambridge you can go to London.
Lord,
You can probably almost get home.
No, I don't.
You said almost get home.
Couldn't live here.
All right.
Ooh.
All right, y'all. It's been another episode with the Puppet Therapy Podcast with your host, Chris.
And Ray.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.